Hi guys, welcome back to the news. Many may wonder how come the president Bola Tinubu had suddenly changed overnight in terms of his usual gaffes he made during the campaigns, the falls, the shaking, the stammering, and the unusual utterances he makes during campaign. Yes, a lot of people have noticed that the president seemed to be way more smarter than he appeared before the elections. And now, the presidency has explained why President Bola Ahmed Tinubu suffered gaffes and occasional slips during the 2023 presidential campaign. Let's find out more as we hit the news. But if you're joining us for the first time, you're very much welcome. I sincerely appreciate your presence. Kindly subscribe and please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you. Yes, my country people, recall Tinubu, who was the presidential candidate of the APC in the 2023 elections, suffered severe gaffes during campaigns, which the opposition candidate dwelt on. Take, for example, Tinubu had tried falling on several occasions during campaigns, having difficulties while raising the APC flags. Also, during interview sessions, the president, who was the presidential candidate of the APC back then, was seen to be having unusual gaffes, making, some very strange statements that were not matching in line with what he ought to have said. And those days, it seemed that Tinubu tried to avoid some, town hall meetings because who knew what he would say or the kind of gaffe he would make. And the opposition parties were dwelling heavily on those utterances, those mistakes of the president. And you can see, now that Tinubu has become the president, all of a sudden, overnight, those things were not happening anymore. So, in an interview with the Nigerian Tribune, a presidential aide, Onunuga, who said the gaffes were symptoms of a candidate who overflogged himself during the campaign. Onunuga said during the campaign that President Tinubu did not keep a regular sleep schedule and sometimes would not sleep until late at night because he was under pressure. He asserted that all the punishment the president gave himself was not in vain, adding the opposition candidate are shocked and surprised that Tinubu attends international events and speaks fluently. He wrote, "What people saw were symptoms of a candidate who overplugged himself during the campaign, a candidate who did not keep a normal sleep schedule. Sometimes he should not sleep until the wee hours. Sometimes he would go to sleep about 3 a.m., 4 a.m. and someone would still come at 5 a.m. and he would wake up to hold meetings with the person. So he was punishing himself, but to God be the glory. All the punishment that Tinubu gave himself was not in vain. You can see that Tinubu speaks fluently and they are all surprised that Tinubu is such an intelligent person. He did all that because he was under intense pressure. Well, my country people, Nigerians would always be Nigerians. A lot of people had expressed their greatest surprise over the way things changed for the president. Some have even asserted that Tinubu was doing all those things so that the North would support him, thinking that he might die anytime soon. And then their brother, who is the vice president, Kashim Shettima, would take over government. Yes, my country people. That's the thinking on most Nigerians. People are having such options that all those things were not, it was staged. That Tinubu staged those things. Because, come on, immediately after he was declared president, Tinubu all of a sudden became very intelligent, spoke English fluently. He never suffered any speech failure. Someone that refused to attend town hall meetings, someone that was saying Baba Blue, Bolaba, Agbado and all the rest, someone that said PDAPC, someone that did not know what he was saying. To a point, they almost said Tinubu urinated on himself. Nothing where people no talk. To an extent, the PDP were using it to campaign against him, that Tinubu is very sick, Tinubu would not survive the year, Tinubu is not fit to be the president. And then a lot of people said, oh, no wonder the Northern has voted for him. They voted for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu thinking he would die anytime soon or he would give up anytime soon. And then Kashim Shettima would take over power. But the reverse was the case. Immediately Tinubu was declared the winner. Boom! Tinubu's character changed. We were not seeing those gaffes, those Baba Blue, Bolaba and all the rest. I mean, he never suffered any gaffes again. And people were like, oh, it seems that the president really outsmarted the Northerners by putting up such a great show for them to vote him thinking he would not last in power. But here we have the presidency saying that Tinubu suffered gaffes because he was under intense pressure. In fact, he never slept. He was moving from place to place, holding meetings with certain persons so that he can win the elections. And at the end of the day, to God be the glory, according to onunuga, Tinubu now is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It seems that his hard work have finally paid off. So my country people, what are your thoughts on this very issue? I mean, come to think of it, these things are actually correct. Back then, we all know that Tinubu suffered occasional slips. It got to a point he couldn't even walk without someone holding him. He would want to fall at several occasions. And I can remember vividly that the PDP spokesman, for the article Okowa campaign organization, that was a Dino Melaye, actually made a huge fun of Tinubu. Yes, he eventually cooked up a song out of the silly mistakes Tinubu was making at the time and sang almost at all the 36 states in the federation. Always singing the Emilo corn that Tinubu is this and that, making mockery of the president. But alas, I guess Tinubu had smarted the opposition candidate and also everybody and took us by surprise. So my country people, I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts on this in the comment section. Thank you.